hey, this is the new way that you look at this new year, this new life, even with these difficult things that are going to make it even worse in our future now, even worse than the towers falling, even worse than maybe the 2008 collapse. Trump's all being positive. He has nothing. He's trapped in a corner like an animal. He's trying to be more presidential now. Finally, if all else fails, read the directions. Figure out what you should be doing to be presidential. He's saying we're going to win. We're going to be better than ever before. No, we're not going to be better than ever before. Not within any time scope that's worth it for us, and not without a lot of suffering and bloodshed and death in the meantime. But regardless of where you go from this point on, you have got to have this perspective. Because no matter what happens to me, if I die tomorrow, I'm not feeling the way you are, even though I'm no better off than you are. Why is that possible? How is that possible? That's what you need to get. All right, going on with things. Oh, okay, I've got a car that I bought when I was 17 years old. Still sitting in the garage, no motor, total disarray, won't run. Won't get rid of it. Won't fix it. I could. I got credit. I could do what you did. I could say, I'm going to have that experience. It won't do me any good. I mean, I just enjoy it. I might not even get any perspective out of it. So I've put all my ability to buy anything or do anything where I could get something out of it. I got rid of my motorcycle back in, gosh, right when times was getting a little bit tough, right around that collapse, a little bit before that. I had a chance to buy a motorcycle, and I'm going to share my experience with you because this is going to relate to you a lot, and it doesn't have anything to do with financial, but I'm going to try to go over this and finish up these things because I've given you a lot of my life story now in a generic form. I had a chance. I've been wanting to buy a motorcycle again, especially out here. It's a great place to ride, but it's dangerous. There's so many places to ride, and I never buy the high-end motorcycle. The most I ever spend is $5, and I buy one of those cheap little Enduros, like a Kawasaki 250. I've had that in my life before. The last motorcycle I bought was $3,500. It was brand new. I got rid of it. It's in Grand Cayman Islands right now. I thought it was unsellable like you did. Oh no, it's maybe sellable for less, but it's still sellable. But you can't get rid of your tools. You can't sell your tools. You need them. You got to have flexibility. Try to always keep your flexibility. But I wanted to buy another motorcycle. Once we became solid out here and we paid off the one person that had a loan and got a conventional loan with Wells Fargo. We only had 3 years to get out of that loan, and we did it. I said, I want to get a motorcycle now. I want to have a life. My wife said to me, you got kids, they need you. You're not done raising them yet. Don't get a motorcycle, get hurt and get killed. She's right. So I listened to her. I still want to get one now. And in fact, there was a time I actually went and looked at the exact one I wanted. In fact, he had actually done extra custom things to it. And he had taken the 250 and bored it out, made it where it's about 350. It was the exact bike I wanted. He put on new flares and things on the fenders, and great. Could have bought it for even less than $5,000. The guy's got this wrecked hand. Asked about that. Oh, he wrecked on the bike. I can't work with a wrecked hand. You know, I'd be flexible. I could do this with a wrecked hand, but this doesn't make any money. I said, no matter how perfect this is, I won't move forward because what I'm trying to do elsewise is more perfect. So I don't want to call it self-sacrifice, because with the proper perspective counseling, it's not self-sacrifice. I now look at not having that motorcycle as a value that I put higher things first. I now look at everything that I've lost in the past as a value to getting where I am now. I look at success as being able to reach out to someone like you and offer something. What greater success that you said you were somewhat religious and understand Jesus and you pray. What greater success is there? Now I'm going to finish the video with this today. I know there's more that I need to look over here still, but I want to finish this with this, even though there's a lot more I could talk about. You may have individual questions and I'll answer those if you like. What greater success is there than the ultimate success at the Last Supper, where Jesus said, if I don't wash your feet, I won't show my final ability to show you what I'm here for as a servant. So my model of success is to do nothing but be the best servant all my perspective and life experience and money and time can ever make me, because that's the highest value that you'll ever be. If you can make yourself see that even with all the pressure on you, that's attainable right now and forever, you can take the weight off you of everything but the financial stuff. You never have to feel like a failure ever again. You never have to feel like less of a man. You never have to be dishonorable feeling. You never have to feel like you're anything that needs to be made an excuse for, or have some kind of justification so you can feel okay just to get through the day. You never have to feel like you have to go in that bed and die. You now are living for an entire new perspective cause that's way more valuable than anybody you're ever going to meet. No one's going to be able to back you up and say, yeah, it is. Most of the world's going to say, what the heck, man? You're the same guy that you ever were. No one's going to say, look at you. Ah, you broke through. No one's ever going to build you up but you. Just like Pharisees and Sadducees said to Jesus when he would say these lofty things. Isn't this the son of these people from this region? How can he do this? If you can't get past realizing what I'm saying right now is real and valuable, then you're going to wallow in the muck that you're in forever. Not only financially, but mentality-wise, soul and spirit-wise. You've got to get past that. I can help you to do that. And I will continue to talk. All right. I've got more notes here, but I think it's been covered generally. Oh, by the way, just so happened when I almost died and I was in the hospital, the medical bills I didn't have to pay them because I had no money. Florida does not count money that you have in your house at the time, and they still probably don't. I had no money, and I can honestly say to them, I have no money. I worked myself into the grave almost by doing these extra houses and trying to make all this work and keep my career going and all this other stuff, and had blood loss and had to have nothing but a transfusion. All I had was a transfusion because my blood loss was so low. I had some kind of a thing where you have an ulcer and it bleeds out, and I didn't realize it. They couldn't believe how strong and healthy I was for just about being on death's door. I was as low a count of blood as you could possibly have in you. And it cost me to get a couple vials of blood put in me. That's how out of whack health insurance is. But at the same time, this would be another fortune thing. I have no money. And the law is set up so that in Florida, you can't lose your house. So it was allowed to me as a hardworking citizen to go and receive those blood things. If just a few things that I talked about today tilted the other direction, I'd be even worse than I am, debt-wise. In your situation, you might say, yeah, but you're not in my situation. How can you talk all high and lofty and think these things are the most valuable things because you're better off than me? It wasn't all fortune. It was also the way I approached everything every step of the way. Everything feeds on everything else. That could go away in a couple of months. Look what's happening in the world. Means nothing. But right now, you wanted to know how I got here, what I did to get out of it. Looks like I'm going to have to keep on doing and helping others do, because harder roads are coming for you and everyone. But now you're on my page. You see where I am. There's value here that could be added onto you. Regardless of your current circumstance, you could be talking and living with this value I've described here with Conscious Counseling 101. And it will colorize your whole world and make you more solid, even if you're a failure, to still understand. Ideas never die. The solidity I'm talking about these ideas and this conscious understanding will never die. Even if I'm in a worse place in a year or two, I won't have forgotten what I'm saying now. no one will reassure me, and I might say, oh no, all I've got's this. But in a way, right now, all I've got's this. Anybody else that looked at me in my circumstance and not having any money in my pocket and doing whatever I want to do would say, well, you're already in that circumstance. Yeah, maybe so. We'll see what the future holds. But what I've done is I've outpoured what I have to you, and I hope it does something for you. And we'll continue on from here if you'd like. But I want you to understand, there will be a time in the future where when there's not enough of me to go around, all counseling that has to do with things that are not of the greater or the eternal, I'll have to charge for because there's just not enough of me to go around. That's not the case right now. And what I'm doing right now is I'm saying, hey, I'm talking about the eternal. I'm talking about these larger concepts because I don't want to hold them back. That type of counseling would be free no matter how popular I got, no matter how many people were asking me for things, because I could never hold it back. Jesus said, he that would not let the little children come forth and receive would be guilty of the greatest atrocity that there is, and they should be thrown into the ocean with a large millstone tied around their neck. So there'll never be a cost for that. Right now, some of the things I'm talking about right now, if I didn't go in this vein, it was just financial stuff. I already told you I'm not a financial advisor anyway. One day it may be, if too many people are asking me and I can't apportion myself properly and keep my other life going and my other careers and my other art things and my family and everything going, one day in my retirement it may be that I may have to charge for that type of advice. I don't know. But to me, that would be the ultimate expression of my art, because I would be a servant to the core, all the way through, in every aspect. Right now, I pay for my ability to sit here and talk to you. I pay for my ability to be a servant. It's the only way I can get it. It's pay for it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know anybody else that's doing it. In fact, anytime I go and look around at different people that are giving religious advice or spiritual or whatever, it's always paid advertisements. You don't see any paid advertisements here. I'm not monetized, and even if I was monetized, I wouldn't make any money because you see how little click-through there is. There's none. Nobody values these higher concepts. Nobody. Okay? If you watch some of my other videos, you'll hear me talk about what it's like to be so lonely on the straight and narrow road. I live that. I live that all the time. I don't know that I'm on the straight and narrow road. I don't know that there's a God. I don't know that there's Jesus. I don't know that any of this stuff is real. But here's what I do know. It works even if you don't know anything. It works even if you don't know what you have faith in you. And it works to make real things happen because you believe that things larger and farther away in another realm are just as important as the things that are right in front of you. And when you put that belief into work and that heightened conscious ability, real things happen in your control, with or without fortune, because your perspective changes and makes it real. And because you receive that perspective and you live it as if it's different, it starts to become different. It starts to become more of what you're working towards. This is what I offer to you. This is what I have. This is what I've done. This is what my life is made up of. I give it to you freely. If you don't understand it fully, I'll continue to talk. Paul Roberts, Conscious Counseling 101.